Hey guys, it's Maddie Silmush and welcome to another video. Today I am building a house for a plant mum or a plant dad or just anybody who really likes plants. There's a lot of plants in this build. I think I used almost every house plant in the game, so I hope I get credit for that. I myself, I'm getting into plants, I guess. I've bought a few. A few are dying, I won't lie, but a few are doing okay. So I'm not quite at plant mom status just yet, but I'm probably getting there. But I did actually have a lot of fun with this game because I do really like using plants in builds anyway. So, but it was quite a struggle. I think towards the end I was struggling to find a plant that I hadn't used. So I just started off with the shell of the house there. It took me like 6 tries to film this, I think, because the first few structures that I did, I then tried to roof them and it was just impossible. I'm not very good at roofing. I always struggle. So yeah, this one was a lot easier because there was only like 2 panels of roofs to do, and I knew I wanted a little sunroof there, so that's why I just did that in glass. And I initially went for a bit of a green theme, but I do think that's kind of obvious, you know, like a plant house, all green. So I think the rest of it I did try to do blue. It's quite a blue theme outside, and I used a lot of the eco lifestyle windows. I mean, I guess the theme kind of fits there, but I really wanted this house to be like really open, really light, and they've got some really big windows, so kind of seemed like the perfect fit. I mean, they're a bit obnoxious, and I often do forget that they kind of bump out a bit as well. But I still quite like it. I think I'd go for windows like this. I like the bold choices. Like I say, I'm trying a bit of a blue theme, and oh yeah, I like to think it worked. It wasn't too much. That was kind of what I was worried about. I was worried that I was going to like end up with green doors, green windows, green walls, greenery outside. But no, I think I like the colours that I did, and I just went for some kind of simple browns with the foundation. Now, we're going on to the landscaping. It took me a long time to landscape. I think it took longer to landscape than do the inside of the house. But I see a lot of builders, they do like the most amazing landscaping, and I'm just like, how? I don't understand it, because I don't know, it's kind of like when I landscape, it feels like everything I do just looks a bit weird. Like when I use the terrain paint and I use the rocks and the flowers and stuff, it just never quite looks good. And I don't know if that is just me doubting myself or it just genuinely doesn't look good. But I guess you can be the judge of that. I was quite happy with the back, I must admit. I did a little flower bed there for the trees and kind of surrounded it with that stone terrain paint. And I did add a pond. I remember when I was doing it, I was kind of annoyed that we don't have a pond tool like we do in The Sims 3, but we do have a pond. I think it might have come with Get Famous. I think it might be like a prop or something, but I did end up putting that at the back there, and I was quite happy with how it turned out. And of course I had to put a ton of plants in the front. I must admit, usually for my landscaping, I'll just stick a few trees, a few patches of flowers just like this, and that's usually me. And I do use like the cacti a lot as well. I think they look really cool. They're kind of for Oasis Springs Strangerville, I know, but this is in Willow Creek as well, so maybe they don't fit, I don't know, but I like them, so they stayed. And again, I was just surrounding them with rocks. Again, I just couldn't really find a look that didn't look too random and too just things dotted everywhere. It took me a little while to try and get it right, and I just kind of surrounded the whole entire house with those shrubs. Did a lot of bamboo, and you got the flowers. I really like these sort of dangling plants we got with Jungle Adventures, the big one and the small one. I always try and put them in my builds, but they're quite big and they're quite obnoxious, so I don't know if they should be there. They're quite a bold statement, but again, I quite like them. I did use the big and the small one for this, and I don't think it's too much. Maybe it is, but it's a plant house, so I suppose there isn't such a thing as too much. So yeah, I kind of tried to use a mixture of plants, and then I used a lot of live edit objects and hidden objects and stuff using those cheats. So just to try and get a bit of a wider range of plants to use outside, because like I say, after a while you are kind of thinking, I've used all the plants I want to use, I don't know what else would fit here. So then I just moved on to the garden. I did a little seating space with a barbecue. I thought that was really cute. And there I am just doing the pond. I was quite happy because the stones match with the kind of vibe and the colours that I was using outside. So yeah, I was really happy with that. And of course, if you are a big plant person, you probably like to grow your own plants. I know we have herbs in our garden, but I don't think that's that special, but it's something. So I just put a few planters out there, and of course some solar panels, very eco-friendly. And I did a little makeshift trellis. I was quite happy with that. I think they came with Eco Lifestyle as well, those little panels. So I just kind of combined them to make a trellis in the front of the porch. So I thought that looked quite cool. And then I just moved on inside to do the floor plan. I wanted it very open, so I did end up deleting that wall so that the living room and the dining room was just one big room. And then the upstairs, I kind of made it into a loft. I actually used a ladder in this build to get up to the bedroom, and I only used half walls to separate it, so you can kind of see into the bedroom from the bottom. And I really like that loft style. Like I said, I wanted it to be really airy and light, a lot of natural light, especially in the living room. There's a lot of light in the living room. So I just used a shelf to divide the space, which I thought was quite a cool idea. So it kind of leaves it very open, and you can just see the bedroom there. I ended up using that half wall just to separate it off a bit, make sure the sim doesn't fall down, and just decorated it with fairy lights because of course they are really cute. And then moving on to the bedroom, I recently saw someone have like a plant wall, and I just thought that was really cool. So I decided to make one in The Sims, just propped up against the bed, and I put the Moschino neon lights in there. They're quite garish pink when I put them in, but I then went into live mode to change those because yeah, it was just way too bright. And I cut out a bit here just to make sure it wasn't too long, but I ended up trying to clutter that shelf with basically as many clutter items and books and plants as I possibly could. And I thought it was really cute, especially that octopus. I am living for that octopus that came with Nitty Nitty. And those rugs as well. I think I used 2 of those rugs in that in this build, and they're a cool vibe, you know. They're really cozy, they're really sweet, and I think they suit this light, airy loft kind of vibe, I guess. And of course I had to do another kind of surface full of plants. I did Google plant mum house just to get some inspiration pictures, and it was basically just tons of shelves and desks and drawers and stuff, and the top is just a ton of plants essentially. So that's what I did. Again, it took me forever to try and find different things to put on it, because in the end I just end up using the same kind of things. And you know, there are some plants that only can go on the floor, so it was a lot of kind of experimenting and trying to lift it up to fit on the shelf. But I really would like to see just some more plants added to the game. So then I just moved on to the bathroom. Did a kind of blue and green vibe here, again kind of to match the house, and I managed to fit a few things on the windowsill. Like I said, the eco lifestyle windows bump out quite a lot, so it gave me good windowsill space, which is good. Some of them overhang a little bit, but I mean, who's keeping track? And of course, again, just had to put a ton of plants everywhere that I possibly could, and some cool art and shelves and things. I kind of like doing bathrooms. I think is they tend to be slightly smaller rooms. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is quite a big room. You could probably even put like a bedroom in this size room. But generally they're kind of small. You can make them feel kind of cramped and cozy and fill them with tons of clutter and stuff. So I just put a few hampers down here. I actually forgot to put a washing machine and a dryer in at first. I had to go back and put it in again, but I did remember in the end. So yeah, I just put a little brick feature wall there, and I did struggle with the wallpaper because I think I wanted to use that Jungle Adventures wallpaper that I had in the bedroom, but of course, because it's The Sims, the bottom, it's like two colours, one at the top, one at the bottom, and then the bottom colour didn't have a matching swatch that was the same sort of solid colour, if that makes sense. So the top floor would be two colours and then the bottom would be one solid colour. There just wasn't a matching one. I don't know if that makes sense, but you'll probably know what I'm talking about if you know the Jungle Adventures wallpapers. So I just went for a bit of a green theme. And then I'm just doing the dining room here. It's really small, literally just a table and chairs, basically, and plants, of course. But I like it. I think it's quite, uses quite a few packs from Eco Lifestyle, maybe, especially that rug. I use that rug a lot. I started a family when I got that pack, and the mother of the household was a fabricator. And when she made that, literally before she passed away of old age, and before she did, I got her to make like 6 of those rugs because I wanted to completely decorate my house with those. So I just used them again here. I have access to them because I have that BB dot. Is it show hidden objects? I think it is, which shows you like the debug and the unlocks. I think it is. I basically just turned on all cheats for this build. Both the living room and the kitchen have a bit of a yellow theme. In the past, I would have said that yellow is probably my least favourite colour, but actually I really like it because it's really bright and it's really sunny, and I don't know, I think I would love to have a yellow kitchen in real life and a yellow living room. But I can just live through my Sims for now because I do not. But then, yeah, for the living room, again, the downstairs is quite minimal. There's not too much furniture because I did want to create that feeling of it just being quite a big space. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a small house, but I guess it feels bigger than it is because it's so open, kind of. So, yeah, I just used another Eco Lifestyle shelf there and cluttered it with a few items, and that's pretty much it for the living room and dining room. Again, I was really, really happy with how it turned out, and I like the fact that it's got that glass window at the top. That's why it's so bright there. Sometimes it was quite difficult to see. It was quite difficult to take pictures of, but yeah, it's cool. And I ended up, like I said, I went with yellow for the theme of the kitchen, and I do realise that these are island counters. I didn't at the time, but I did change them at one point, so I did notice. But yeah, as you can see, quite a yellow theme. I went with the yellow counters and yellow appliances and even the yellow cupboards. But again, it's just really bright. It's really happy. Like, it's a really happy room. I don't know. It feels, although I was kind of envisaging a single Sim living here. Again, it's only got one bedroom, so at the very most it would be a couple. But I do feel this is quite a family room. I can imagine a family with quite a few kids having a kitchen like this. And then I just used that clipboard. I don't usually use that, but I wanted to put the post-it notes and the, what are they called, postcards? I wanted to put the postcards and the post-it notes on there. Because again, I just wanted to make it feel a bit more like a family room. It feels kind of lived in, kind of homey, I guess, when you add those little details there. So yeah, then I just put in a few shelves with debug. I wanted to do like plates and cups. I have a feeling those cups are actually bartender's cups, like for mixing cocktails. But I mean, yeah, who's to know? And yeah, so I just wanted to also clutter up the top of the fridge. Again, these things just took so long, like trying to find the placement, trying to find the right things to put on. I actually didn't put a plant on top of the fridge for a change. But yeah, I just think it just adds that little bit extra to a build to have those little details there, I guess. And then I did an island. It was obnoxiously big, so I did make it that little bit smaller, and then that's just going to be a little additional dining space. And then, like I said, in the corner I did forget to put a washing machine and dryer, but that seemed like the best place to put it, so you'll see in a second that I just put that in. And of course it was they were yellow. Of course. Apparently to some people it's weird to have your washing machine, probably dryer, yes, but to have your washing machine in the kitchen. We have ours in the kitchen. I don't know if it's like an English thing. I'm not sure. Not the dryer. We have our dryer in the garage. But yeah, I just, like I said, there wasn't that much room to put it anywhere else because, I don't know, this is a strange one. It's not a small house, but it's not a huge house either. I think originally I was kind of toying with the idea of making it a tiny home, but yeah, I scrapped that quite quickly, I think. I kind of struggle with tiny builds because, like I say, I like clutter, I like colour, I like bigger builds. I think I'm going to have to challenge myself to make some more tiny builds in the future, so definitely watch out for those in future videos. So we're just coming up to the screenshots now. If you like this video, please give it a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you want to, because I promise there's a lot more videos like this coming. If you have any feedback or suggestions, just leave them in the comments below. But until next time, bye!